When I bumped up my gun in Dolari, and I asked her for us to get married. So she said, let me go and I can bounty. But let me reach me so one for me. How are you going to with a jam and the fight? How are you going to be now? In a bed for your market, but you don't mind to rap. Not if you are you got to be down. Not if you are you got to be down. Pero la vida es dona de el coche, ya no llamari a Yatri. Mena que va di es yo se coche, ale no tomara di tomare. Hawaii, cuando mira llama que vaya, Hawaii, cuando mira. In a bed for your market, what you do, money, to Ram, to Lari, get you are you got to be down. To Lari, get you are you got to be down. Let me go to the fire in the temple. In the kitchen, she Papa Berna. Regularly, the ground is Laura. Then if you touch it, and in the corner. So why you got to be the jam and how are you got to be down? In a bed for your market, what you do, money, to Ram. Dolari, get you are you got to be down. Dolari, get you are you got to be down. Let me say about the girl, give me the chipma. Nina Papa, the glass about the chance. Nina Kay, ya Jamara, ya Chatri. When I be married, about the Obi love. So why you got to put in a jam and the fire? How are you got to be down? In a bed, for the market, what you do, marry, to Ram, to Lari, get you are you got to be down. To Lari, get you are you got to be down. When I bumped up my gun in Dolari, and I asked her for us to get married. So she said, let me go and I can bounty. But let me reach me so one for me. How are you going to be a jam and the fight? How are you going to be down? In a bed for your market, but you don't mind to rap. Dolari, get you are you got to be down. Dolari, get you are you got to be down. got free. Me not care what the hell you say about me. I know tomorrow we gon' marry. How are you? But home in a jam.
Yes, my name is Jasmine Caldata, Francis C. Vietnam, and since 1965 I become a voter, and I always place my X next to the cup. And what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data. I have none.
So this is attorney Shellen Washington, owner and founder of the Washington Law Firm, located at 455 Utica Avenue in Brooklyn, New York. We're specialized in medical malpractice, personal injuries, matrimonial law, and landlord and tenant. If you're in need of legal representation, please give us a call today. The number to call is 718-877-3100. Consultation is free at no cost to you. So call us today to see if we can be of any assistance to your legal needs. Again, the phone number to call us is 718-877-3100.
Yes, my name is Jasmine Caldata, Francis C. Vietnam, and since 1965 I become a voter, and I always place my X next to the cup. And what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data.
And you're confident that you're going to deliver credible and fair elections?
Of course. Only one way I know, and that is the correct way.
All right. Hey, guess what? Good evening. It's 8 minutes after 9 o'clock. My name is Mark Benshop, not Mark Phillips, Mark Benshop. And we are going to rock and roll for just about an hour. Even if we go a little over 10 o'clock, it's okay. You guys can bear with us. I know you guys love the information. Well, let me not be full of myself. Yeah, okay. Keith Beresford and the others, I don't want him to be inboxing people, say, hey, look, Benshop is just full of himself, right? All right. On Facebook, a lot of people are full of themselves, right? Don't get me wrong. Everybody jumping in the corner, claiming credit for every single thing. If a gooseberry tree starts bearing tomorrow, everybody on social media wants to claim credit, except me. I don't claim any credit for anything. And I wish you guys can take a look at my face, right? I don't take any credit for anything. I just relax, put my hands up, put my gloves on, and come back and do some more work, right? But if a guinea tree starts to bear, everybody on social, well, most of the usual suspects want to claim credit for every single thing, right? Every single thing. We know who those usual suspects are. We know who they are. And one of them is not Wayne Caesar. Wayne Caesar is not a suspect. He disappeared from us last evening. I sent a couple of folks to look for him. I'm not sure if they found him as yet. If you guys see Wayne Caesar in the audience, tell him that we're looking for him here. He was absent from his job last evening, his second job right here on 107.1 FM. Just let us know. Keith Beresford and the crew, Carl Miller, Sandra, and Shawnette and Roxanne and all of you, if you see Wayne Caesar, send him over to us. If he is at the Guyana-Venezuela border, because Wayne is an old soldier, a Backdam soldier, pick coconut because, coconut pickers are soldiers too, right? Good evening to all of you. Wayne is going to be with us shortly, but before we get to that, let's see. Irfan Ali, during an engagement with opposition leader Aubrey Compton Norton, right? And the big headline in the government propaganda papers, basically we see one of them here. and that is their description, not mine, but they say president and opposition leader agreed to spare no effort in resisting Venezuela's actions. Look at Irfan Ali. Look at that. What is it he got? Is it a pantsuit? You know, back in the days on Flatbush Avenue and other places, they got these suits called jump and spread out suits. And some people, I don't want to call the name of the shorts that I think there was a song, Red Fox, and those guys came out with a song by the name "Girls, You Look So Sharp." Every time you look, if you guys know that song, just tell me. Tell me you know that song. Girls, you look so sharp every time you passing. Right? Let me see how many of you young people there actually know the song. Don't think I don't know a thing or two. But this guy looks horrible in that green. I don't know. Yesterday he had on green, I think. Was Sunday he had on green. Saturday he had on green. They seem to love green now. Look at him. He ran away from the National Service. He ran away from the Salvation Army. He missed Camp Street green, right? He just missed it all. But look at this here. Look at green. He's sitting there. Mark Phillips is in another world. Cheryl Ponchan is not pumpkin shorts. you could tell you didn't really know the song, right? Exactly. He wants to be a fake Castro. Maybe he called himself Gastro. Look at him. He's looking face to face at Aubrey Norton. I don't know. Face to face. I wonder who Aubrey took with him there. It should have been a strong team. The question is, was it a strong enough team? I don't want to even get into that. Wayne Caesar was supposed to have on his green. He doesn't have on any green. Look, I don't know what's going on. We're all set to go to the border. Wayne, you have your ticket? Look, I got, where is it? I just picked it up today. Do like what Jack Dale does, always showing some piece of crap. Look, my ticket is here. Are you ready to go and defend Guyana? Are you ready, Wayne?
Well, absolutely. Absolutely, I'm ready. Good evening. Listen, here.
No. That's
Listen.
a bluff. You're beginning to sound like Keith Beresford and Miller and all those guys and Eon Williams. Bluff. You're bluff this evening. You're ready to go nowhere.
Mark, Keith Beresford, Carl Miller, these guys are no joke, Mark. If they say that we're going to the border, we're going to the border. I'm telling you, honestly, we'll be there before anybody in the PPP. You want to make that bet, Mark? You want to lose your money?
They're probably going to be in a dance with a big speaker. You know, there's a reggae song called Border Clash. So that's the only clash. You haven't going nowhere. There's no border clash, nothing, including all of those Pacus in Guyana who hollering that they're ready to fight, and some of them talking about what's going on in the Middle East and they want to defend the Middle East. But these same Pacus aren't talking about what's happening at the Guyana border. We're not seeing them. They're not going to go there. Those Pacus in Guyana, in the PPP, that is. But Keith Beresford, them guys, they're fighting nobody, man. Come on. I would more take a chance with Roxanne. The women might be fighting. Rhonda Lane and those people might be fighting, right? Miss Booker and them might be fighting. But the only thing that Keith Beresford, Carl Miller, Eon Williams, let me see which other male on. Oren, who else? Who else is on? Rastaman, and all these guys, all they will be singing is, including Roderick, Border Clash, you know, and Border Clash. That's it. Nothing else. What's going on, man? What's happening? You saw, and good evening. Good to see you back. And let's say good evening to all our listeners in Guyana, outside of Guyana, in the Caribbean, wherever you are. Good evening to all of you. Wayne, let's start right off the bat here. What is your take on Irfan Ali trying to look like either Che or Fidel Castro? Look at him. He never joined the army. He ran away from national service. He ran away from the Salvation Army. He missed Camp Street Prison. What is your take? What's going on?
Well, listen, he looks like if he's dressed in a full military uniform minus the stripes and badges there. But listen, we all know that these guys are very weak, Mark. It's not, listen, the posturing of the Venezuelan army didn't start yesterday or day before yesterday. It has been started for some time now. Okay? And the response from the PPPC was deafening. So listen, this is some good injected energy by the opposition into meeting with the government. And listen, this installed government, Mark, they had to meet with the opposition because
We
it's
have Wayne.
it's up. Yes, go
We
ahead.
have a little bit of humor here injected. Gianna Ileana says, Earfart Castro. I mean, look, you've got to make mockery of this guy. This guy is a big mook. He's a big mockery, but a serious conversation indeed, Wayne Caesar. But continue. We have some lovely folks who are listening to us. They just love a bit sense of humor. But go ahead, Mr.
Yes,
Caesar.
no, and Mark, I love the humor, except that Irfan Ali, there's no way that he can ever step in the shoes of a Fidel Castro. People could say all they want to say about Fidel Castro, but Irfan Ali cannot step into his shoes. But Mark, this was needed. This dialogue between the opposition and the installed government was needed. Why, Mark? Because the government had no strategy. They had no strategy. Instead of reaching out for help, they just was there, and it was just deafening because there was just nothing happening. So this is good, and it's good for Guyana to show a united front here. Okay, because united we have an opportunity to stand divided. It's a great opportunity that we fall. So this is very, very good that this dialogue has occurred. But Mark, this dialogue does not wipe away what has happened the last 3 years and the 23 years before that. I just want to make that. We didn't get amnesia. We didn't get amnesia. But what we're doing here, Mark, we are putting Guyana first. That's what's happening here.
The amnesia people, let's hope they do not have that. But back to this photograph. They have no strategy. They have no plan. I agree with you that they have to look outside of the PPP for brains, outside of the PPP for strategy, outside of the PPP for the way forward. They have nothing. The PPP headed by Bharat Jagdeo and this infant Gastro has no idea. I am almost certain right there and then if Aubrey Norton asked both Mark Phillips and Irfan Ali to spell Venezuela, they couldn't. Or to spell Caracas, they couldn't. The last time Irfan Ali attempted to spell Caracas, he started off with a K. The teacher suspended him. So this is a propaganda stunt. This is a PR stunt. It means nothing, absolutely nothing to me. I'm very patriotic, but looking at this here tells a story by itself that all Irfan Ali wants to do is to be seen next to Aubrey Norton, so that they can give the outside world this impression that everything is hunky-dory in the country. This is no one on the issue of Venezuela. When Bharat Jagdeo, not so long ago, Mr. Caesar, Bharat Jagdeo wanted to give a piece of Guyana to Venezuela. Bharat Jagdeo wanted to do that. Not me, not you, not any one of our listeners, but Bharat Jagdeo wanted to do that. Look, we are not, and I'm beginning to sound like Wayne now. Look, let me tell you this. Look, Wayne, this is, according to the news, has never been disputed by Bharat, no sense guy Jagdeo. This is what it says here. Former President Bharat Jagdeo, now opposition leader, on Friday, this was a couple of years ago, not so long ago, said the idea of negotiating a settlement with Venezuela that would see the country being given a channel out of sea was discussed. He, Jagdeo, is saying that was discussed. He didn't say that, yes, he made plans to give away a piece of Venezuela. He didn't say that. But Jagdev should have been charged with treason.
Correct.
Narayan Prasad, if you agree with me, you can say yes. I see you show your little pumpkin face, and you can say yes. Jagdev should have been charged with treason. Now let's go back to this here. And Jagdev was at this meeting. This makes absolutely no sense. Mark Phillips, look at his facial expression, body language. Look at Irfan Ali. Irfan Ali doesn't even understand foreign policy. Irfan Ali doesn't even know what's happening at the border. You ask Irfan Ali what's happening, he can't tell you. Irfan Ali can't even sing not a blade of grass. He can't even sing that. He doesn't even know how to spell Venezuela. He spells Caracas with a K. But this is a guy that we will sit down and you will see and take anything coming out of him seriously. But yet the PPP propaganda headline, President and opposition leader agree to spare no effort in resisting Venezuela's actions. Look how long people have been calling every night, right here on 107.1 FM. You know it. You've been calling. We have had all our guests have been calling. And so the pressure mounted because of what this referendum, this illegal, this fake, this dotish referendum out in Venezuela by Maduro. So everyone played a role in forcing Irfan Ali and his corrupt PPP regime to say something. Everyone. This is not like a one man jumping on a latrine pit and claiming, oh, you see what I did? No, this is not about that. All, including our listeners, played a role, including Rhonda Lane when she calls in on her regular morning program. Say, good morning, Kadaki. Good night to you, Rhonda. Get another take on what you think the citizens got from this meeting, the citizens of Guyana. Because here it is. They're saying we have to be united. But after we are united on this, Mr. Caesar, guess what? Thursday's press conference, Tanti Moral Jagdeo put on back the skirt and start cussing everybody. He's going to cuss Norton. He's going to cuss every Tom, Dick, and Harry. He is going to curse. He's going to say that Ramjatan is a lapdog. I mean, Aubrey this body that, and all manner of things. So we're back to square one. Over to you, Mr. Caesar.
Well, Mark, listen, to objectively look at this, look. They are agreeing here to agree on this issue. This is one issue. This is an issue of national security we're talking about here. So they're agreeing to agree here. When it comes to all the other issues, there is still no agreement there. Okay? So that's how I am looking at it. It's business as usual come Thursday. If we're going to talk about the border issue, then okay, we're all united on that. That's a united front if we're going to address that issue. But outside of that, no, we're not united, and we should not be united, Mark. Because you know what? We always talk about, somebody getting the bad end of a stick. What I find is that the Guyanese people have gotten the bad and both ends bad of the stick. Because, listen, oil is being extracted. They're not benefiting. Venezuela is posturing at our borders. Why? Mark, you got to look at it this way. A lot of us may be thinking that, okay, they want Essequibo. It's not just about Essequibo. It's about the extraction of oil in Guyana. Okay? They're trying, from a world perspective, they're trying to somewhat move away from Russian oil. Right? And Guyana is one of those big markets that everyone is targeting right now. So when you're moving away from Russian oil, you have to remember that Russia have a very close allegiance with Venezuela. Right? And they kind of dictate stuff across the world market along with Saudi Arabia and those Middle East countries that produces large amounts of oil. But now with Guyana coming into play, here is a way for Venezuela to affect and say, hey, we got to get a cut on this somehow, some way. So this is what's happening. And then you're putting the Guyanese people in a posture because the Constitution said that everybody should have a right to defend their country, Mark. What are they defending? Something that they have not gained anything from when it comes to oil? You know, we have to look at this, more objectively here. I understand that Venezuela always wanted a part of Essequibo. But Mark, I am of the thinking that if oil wasn't being extracted in Guyana the way it is being extracted and the profits that are being gained from oil in Guyana, Venezuela would not have been posturing the way they are posturing now.
Well
Over to
said.
you, sir.
26 minutes after 9 o'clock. Venezuela loves this. I noticed some people saying that, and Mr. Caesar, I can't disagree with what you've just said, but I've noticed some people saying, oh, Venezuela ain't taking over nothing. Nothing Venezuela ain't taking over. I am saying this to you guys. Venezuela is, I sound like Irfan Ali there for a minute. He cannot pronounce Venezuela. Ain't going nowhere to send their soldiers into Guyana. It's an elections gimmick. He is frauding the Venezuelan people. Because if we were to look at history, almost the entire, closer to Guyana border, that entire area into Venezuela belongs to Guyana. Almost half of Venezuela, right? They want to claim people, we might as well claim them too. We might as well get a referendum going and ask if we should invade. And we can. We have the power, don't we? We have the power. Do not underestimate Guyanese. Guyanese will be at that border. All Guyanese will be at that border, ready to defend the country. Just ask Irfan Ali. Look, you see, he's all dressed. He's ready to defend. They're all ready. Look, this security firm that they're beating up people and all manner of things, they are ready to defend Guyana right now. They might be on their way to the border, if you ask me. They could be on their way there. Look who else is going. This guy, acting commissioner of police, and his friend, that controversial so-called businessman, Azruddin Mohammed, they're all going to the border right now. Look, they're all dressed up. Do not be fooled, guys. That's the former permanent secretary for the Ministry of Home Affairs. They're all dressed up. They're ready to go. They're ready to fight for their country. Don't you guys think? Look at Priya and them. Priya, they got our weapons already. Lots and lots of bombs, weapons of mass destruction. They're ready to fight for Guyana. Look at them. They're all ready to fight for Guyana. Why are you guys afraid? What are you guys afraid of? Venezuela could touch us? Look, they're ready to fight. Venezuela could touch us? What is your take, Mr. Caesar, on these unpatriotic people who are only concerned about monies, and they don't give a damn about Guyana?
Well, listen, Mark, if you're going to ask me for my take, I'm going to tell you that these are the people who think that they own the country. So therefore, if you own the country, you guys should be on the front line. You're correct, Mark. You could not have been more correct. They should be up front there defending Guyana because they're claiming everything. They're acting as if they own Guyana. They're marginalizing and oppressing the normal born and bred Guyanese. So yes, they should be up front. They should be taking the brunt of this. But it's obvious that, the rich like to stand in the back and allow the poor when it comes to, issues like these, to take the hit. And there's where the Guyanese people have got to really stand up here. We have got to really stand up because, listen, this government is not for the people. And as we could see from based on their behavior with this Venezuelan conflict, they're not for the country either. They are for their pockets. Simply for their pockets. So, Mark, I would say in going forward, we got to continue to hold these people accountable. I saw Royce Ford calling for Barra Jagdeo, to resign. I am totally in agreement with that. It is time for Barra Jagdeo to go. He is ineffective. He has never been effective as a leader. He is ineffective. He's a fake economist. He had the country for 23 years. We haven't seen growth in the country. He's had the country for the last 3 years. Because forget about Irfan Ali. Irfan Ali is nothing. He's just a puppet. He just got to listen to what he's told and sit down and be quiet. He's not his own man. He's incapable of being an independent thinker. And that's not somebody who you want to be leading your country. And I'm not bigging up Jack Dion saying that he's an independent leader. I'm going to say that he's a lapdog, just like what he be calling Mr. Ramjatan. That's exactly what he is. He's not ready yet either. But we need to rally, around the opposition, and the opposition need to show a stronger front here. I like what Mr. Roysdale Ford is doing. I need to see others supporting this. It's been too long that Jack Dio has not been in check. We guys allow this guy to come every Thursday on these press conference and just tell a bundle of fibs, man. Sheer nonsense the guy talks. I was listening to his press conference last Thursday, Mark. He is talking about GECOM. Since when, he has all the insight on GECOM. That sounds like a press conference that should have been held by a Claudette Singh. This guy hands is on everything. Mark, listen, I'm tired of seeing this one-man show. This man doesn't own the people of Guyana. This man does not own Guyana. And to be honest with you, Mark, he's not a smart person. And you guys in Guyana need to stand up, man. You guys need to lift your standards up, man.
That's okay, Wayne. I understand how you feel. We want you to return maybe tomorrow night, the following night, but please don't break the desk up. We understand how you feel. People are annoyed. Yeah. But we all right, let me give you a quick second to calm down. How many of you guys want Mr. Caesar to calm down? Because, Caesar, I could understand how he's feeling. He's venting. It's called good venting. It's not madman ranting. Those shows, that mad ranting show got their own people. You know what show I'm talking about. They should just call it the zoo show. But let me take you guys, and it's good. It's good to be feeling how you're feeling, Mr. Caesar. People are saying that I should allow you. But if I allow Mr. Caesar, because he's very emotional tonight, we all should be. And then he breaks up the studio desk and all kind of thing. What's going to happen? We have no desk in the studio tomorrow. But Mr. Caesar, let us. I want to show, and thanks to Lemon, I want to show our people this here, our listeners. Sorry, I say our. Look, it says, forget about that. That's not the one, Lemon. Lemon, long time we haven't fired Lemon. A long time we haven't fired Lemon. And I think that's exactly what Lemon playing around with, being fired. So let's look at this, Mr. Caesar. Let's take a good look at this. Make concession to Venezuela. Jagdev floats ceding maritime space. He did that. He said that. And then he went at the press conference, Wayne, and he said, Ben, Adam Harris, and then they are this and they are that and all manner of things, right? But I want the people to see that this guy, the folks already know that Jack Diao is a pathological liar. He's a shameless liar. He's a no-good. He's a vagabond. He's a Tede Kabur Nanika Choror Kalandeke. And those of you who could finish it know exactly how to finish it with that whole bunch of course word. Tede Kabur Nanika Choror Kalandeke. And he's a Katahar Korhi Chamar. He is, you name it. That is what he is. Bharat Jack Diao. He has no worth in calling people, and it's not the word, Mr. Caesar. If you wanted to sound properly, it's not lop dog. Most of you guys from Pleasance and back to Georgetown, y'all got to understand, it's not lop dog. You're in America too long. It's not lop dog. It's you got to be raw. It's lapdog. You got to emphasize lapdog. Just like how some white folks, when they hear us talk, they love to lapdog. That is what he is, a lapdog. Now, he denied ever saying anything about wanting to give away piece of Guyana. Imagine a no-good lapdog wants to give away a piece of Guyana, and then he denied it. He denied it. But guess what? Listen to this, guys.
You could probably, on the maritime area, give Venezuela a channel out to the sea. So you make a slight concession in the maritime.
We all heard it again.
You guys understand? That is why, Mr. Caesar, we go back to this here. This so-called meeting. This meeting, it make no sense. None whatsoever. Mr. Norton, the leader of the opposition, he has enough, and he should have gone there with his army guys. None of them were used. He carried Mr. Ronald Austin Sr., a good guy, decades of diplomatic experience and foreign service experience. Kudos to Ambassador Austin Sr., Ronald Austin Sr. Kudos, tremendous respect for Ambassador Ronald Austin Sr. But oh man, carry some other heavyweights. You got two former chief of staff. You got Brigadier General Collins, Eddie Collins. You got Rear Admiral Gary Best. You have a former commissioner of police, Winston Felix. You have others. You have lieutenant colonels. You have colonels. Take them with you. Show that force. Show that strength. I mean, nothing is wrong with the others that accompanied him, but you got to carry people with experience, with strength and knowledge about this issue. Let's go back to this. Let's go back to Jack Deere again. He should have been charged with treason.
You could probably, on the maritime area, give Venezuela a channel out to the sea. So you make a slight concession in the maritime area.
Good. So you guys, let's listen again.
You could probably, on the maritime area, give Venezuela a channel out to the sea. So you make a slight concession in the maritime area.
Look, what's happening here? This is the same guys. These are the same guys are claiming that they're patriotic and we must come together now and we must do. This guy wanted to give away billions of dollars to Venezuela so that we can share. We don't have a dispute with them, but they have a dispute with us, our land, our country. But yet Barra Jack Deere, a crook, wanted to give away a piece of Guyana. Give it away. Over to you, sir.
Well, Mark, give away, yes, but from his perspective, it wouldn't be he wouldn't be giving away something because he would actually be gaining something, because I'm sure he would be having a lot of wires over to his bank account after he would have done that transaction. And Barry Jagdeo does not have the grounds, he does not have the rights to make such decisions as an individual. That would need the consent of government, opposition, and the people of Guyana. So I agree with you, Mark, that something like this should have led him to being charged with treason. He wants to talk and charge other people with treason. Now this is treasonous. I don't know if the statutes of limitation would have expired on this, but Barry Jagdeo should be tried for this. He's a filthy dictator, and we need to show him for who he is. We need to keep checking him. Don't let him come out on these press conference and talk a bundle of garbage without rebuttaling his lies. All his statements, Mark, is lies. Listen, everything Barry Jagdeo does, Mark, is a means to an evil end. And listen, he have brainwashed the PPP supporters year in and year out. All their votes is, Mark, is a means. No, Mark, wait. You see what I'm doing to those sugar workers? You see what's happening to those sugar workers? Their votes, Mark, their votes was a means to an end. Because whenever they get in power, they did nothing for those people. You know how many lawyers and doctors and all of that we would have lost that end up cutting cane? Because they were brainwashed. They were never educated, Mark.
Mr. Caesar,
and that is sad. That is sad, man.
Mr. Caesar, that was then. This is now. The people's eyes are opening up every single day. The supporters of the PPP, their eyes are opening up every single day. They are walking away in droves away from the PPPC. Do not be fooled. Why you think they want the Venezuelans to prop up the voters list? Why you think they want and they're rushing to New Amsterdam and Linden and so forth and so on? They tried it in the local government elections. It didn't work. And so by now and the 2025 general and regional elections, they want something to work. They are
Think we may have lost Mark there,
of
but
votes. They know they cannot depend any longer. Aware of that. That is why, again, if you look at their pattern, if you look at their modus operandi for the local government elections, was to go into predominantly African Guyanese communities to see what they could do. And they didn't succeed. So they're bringing the Venezuelans up now so that they can give them 25, 30,000 barn paper, aka birth certificates, and identification cards in order to prop up the voters list for next general and regional elections. This is where the opposition comes in. The opposition now got to go out there and they got to be aggressive in ensuring that that doesn't become a reality where the PPPC is giving away thousands of barn paper birth certificates to the Venezuelans and other nationals who have just arrived in Guyana. That is why we want and we expect to see the three opposition commissioners at GECOM, Mr. Corbyn, Mr. Trotman, and Vincent Alexander, to come out more often or come out. We hardly see them. Call press conferences. You've been saying this for a while now. Call press conferences. Give us an idea. Give us an update. Don't leave us in the dark. Don't leave us to speculate. Come out, because when the PPP was in the opposition, guess what they were doing? Their commissioners, there was Robeson Ben, there was Gunraj, and there was Bibi Shadiq, who now kicked the bucket and gone. Almost every week, 3, 4, 5 press conferences from the PPP opposition MPs, commissioners at GECOM at that time. When was the last time the opposition GECOM commissioners held a press conference? When? We don't know. We're in the dark. We don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening. Our listeners don't know what's happening. Vincent Alexander needs to tell us what's happening. Desmond Trotman needs to tell us what's happening. Charles Corbyn, all those three commissioners at GECOM are answerable to those who put them there, the opposition people. Some of them like to say they're answerable to Guyana. No, it's not Guyana who put you there. It's the opposition strength who put you guys there, and therefore you have to stand up and talk to us right now. Over to you.
Mark, I agree. But at the same time, based on what you would have just said, I would like to make an appeal, Mark, to those PPPC supporters out there that is moving away from this install regime. Listen, Mark, all Guyanese, we share markets together, we share hospitals together, we share everything together. We are all born and bred Guyanese. And Mark, it's my opinion here, I am always and will always be in favor of a coalition government. I think it brings everybody to the table. I think it represents all 6 ethnic groups across the board. Well, I think, Mark, you would have said we have a 7th. You said Douglas the other day.
No.
Well, who said it? 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 Somebody said it. Somebody said it. I think it's you, but I'm going to check back. All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
I do not. Douglas is not a race. Douglas falls within the category of Africans. Anywhere in the world, you come to America, you are black. Yes. Even our Indian brothers and sisters in Queens, when you fill out some application forms, guess what? Their ethnicity, there's no such thing. There's not a box for Douglas. There's not a box for red man. There's not a box for midgets. There's not a box for Guyanese Indian. It's black African Americans. You know how many times, even traveling in the plane, uncle sit down next to me and auntie sit down next to me. So, oh, why help me fill out the family, you know. And you ask them one question. What for put here? Black or why? All have been black by? All have black. So I don't subscribe to that. The thing about Douglas makes us feel good. And those who are mixed, you know what I mean? It makes us feel good that Douglas by, hey, me not black man by. But a lot of them on the Indian side don't accept the Douglas. So anyway, that's for another conversation.
Yes. Let me just close this. Let me just close off this point by saying I encourage everybody. Listen, Guyana belongs to you. The riches of Guyana belongs to you. It does not belong to Irfan Ali, Parajagdio, Anil Nandalal, and these foreign investors. It does not belong to them. You guys dictate the terms. You guys are the electorate. Okay? You guys dictate the terms. So let's get out there. Don't stay home. Don't stay home. Let's get out there and vote for that coalition government. That's going to bring everybody to the table. You know, we need to get away from these kleptomaniacs, man. We need to get away from this one powerful party controlling things.
Well,
Okay.
one of the things that I'm usually cautious about is coalition and Big Ten politics good. But thus far, we're not seeing the strength in the coalition. We want to see the strength. Let's see what Francine Cruz is saying, but she's disappointed that Mark is not wearing green. Caesar is not wearing green. What's going on with Francine tonight, man? Anyways, let's have Shonell Griffith and them deal with Francine, please. Francine is overdoing the do now. 47 minutes after 9 o'clock. My name is Mark Benshop. If you're now joining us, lots of things, Mr. Caesar, happening in Guyana. Lots and lots of things. Let's just go to a tape quickly so that we can remind the people outside of the PPP's bluff about this united front. There's no united front when it comes to the PPP. It's only convenient for them when it suits their purpose. They want to be united. But when they're persecuting people, they don't know about unification. When they're discriminating against people for contracts and all manner of things, they don't know about unification. They don't know that we are all Guyanese. When they're giving out the COVID-19 cash grants and they're walking past predominantly African Guyanese communities and villages, or even walking past folks who are supporters of the coalition, who are not necessarily African Guyanese. They walk past thousands of Guyanese. They give them pink slips. They promise that they're going to return so that they can fulfill their promises. To this day, over 3 years, they have not returned to give the people who have their pink slips still, I believe, the COVID-19 cash grants. Every time there is a COVID, there's a cash grant stuff going about, they discriminate. The contracts, they discriminate. Cash grants, they're discriminating. Jobs, they're discriminating. Every single thing. House lots, they're discriminating. They're going into predominantly African Guyanese communities, beat them up, bulldoze their properties, bulldoze their lands, all manner of things. But today, they want us to forget about every single thing. Put our hands up in the air, take off our ties, go and hug them and jarre them. And sane them like how you sane your food, and hug them up and throw mal around them and all kind of thing. And then hug them up and sing some nice song from Kuch Kuch Hota Hai, because we're all one. And then hug him and say, Matum se mahobat. Matum se mahobat. Yeah, Matum se mahobat. That is what they want when it suits their purpose. It doesn't make me unpatriotic to say that circus today, by meeting with Irfan Ali and Jack Dale and Mark Phillips and them, was nothing but a circus. Nothing comes out of that. Absolutely nothing. Watch for the cussing out by tomorrow. Watch for the cussing out by Tanti Moral, Rosanna Jack Dale by Thursday. They're cussing out and they're cussing out and they're using and they're paying for pages on social media to curse out and say the vile things against individuals with taxpayers' monies. All manner of things they do. These people are unpatriotic. These people are a bunch of lapdogs at office of the President and Freedom House. They don't win me. They don't win my support at all. And that today again is just a circus. It's a pity that Mr. Norton wasted his time to go and sit with that illegally installed president of apartheid Guyana. Over to you, sir. Let me get some water. Over to you.
That was well said, Mark. I don't know if you would have seen in the news that Chevron has agreed to purchase Hess for $53 billion. Now, when you look at a deal like that, you know, one of the big things, one of the big pitches in that whole deal was Hess Guyana. And that just goes to show you where Guyana stands in the pecking order. You know, Guyana is like a cash cow right now to all the oil companies. So it is because of Hess Guyana that Chevron has agreed, Mark, to purchase Hess for $53 billion. Now, when you're gonna go into agreeing to purchase a company as large as Hess, Mark, there's a lot of research that goes into that. And one of the things that will come out of that research is the kind of deals that the government is making. And also they're going to look at the viability as to if that government is going to be in power. You know, so listen, this is just another call out to the Guyanese people that, you know, you guys need to have a new government in place, you know, that is going to fight for you, that's going to make these deals a little more sweeter for the Guyanese people. We don't mind dealing with people, but the deals have to be sweeter for the Guyanese. They cannot be lopsided, because when you have lopsided deal, for some reason, Mark, the monies does not meet to the people. And we're seeing this right now, you know, and money should be hitting the Guyanese people, and we're just not seeing it. So here we go again. Another big giant is coming in and purchasing another one.
Money's not meeting the Guyanese people at all. And that is why all of you out there have to be able to hold your government accountable. The coalition was not held accountable enough. When some of us were attempting to hold them accountable, some of you guys right now who are upset as to where we are, we're cursing out some of us. We say, hold you guys accountable. Go out to the people, do job creation, do this and do. It's not that they haven't done much. They have done a heck of a lot compared to the 23 corrupt years of the PPPC. But we must be able to hold our governments accountable, regardless of who is in office. And when we talked about some deals, a few folks got richer under the coalition as well. People should have been empowered. Certain people should have been empowered. Those things never happened, right? And that is what governments do. They empower people. They just don't empower a few who are just within the circles. And the coalition made some blunders in that regards as well. But that was done. That is why at least I want to see what the makeup of this coalition is going to be, because we've got to find a way through the ballot boxes, mind you, to defeat this corrupt, this unpatriotic PPP regime. They've got to be defeated one way or the other, election-wise. Mr. Caesar, as we prepare to go, let's go back to this tape. I noticed somebody's just saying, let's hear it again. Jack Dale, treasonous. He should be charged for treason. There's no statute of limitation, I believe. Treason is the highest charge in the land. Who wouldn't know that better than? Treason is higher than murder. Because with treason, right away, you get in hang. Death sentence, death penalty. That is treason. I was there. I should know. Listen to Jack Dale. He should have been charged with treason.
You could probably, on the maritime area, give Venezuela a channel out to the sea. So you make a slight concession in the maritime area.
a slight concession, and this is what this Nimakaram, this Katahar, this Korhi, Jagdeo denied. This is what Ramjatan is saying. It's not treason. It is treasonous. And then with this whole talk, you mentioned Hess, and you mentioned the other oil company,
Chevron.
Billions of dollars and all. I noticed some people saying, yeah, kudos to Donald. Donald speaking of, Donald was there as president. What did he do? Absolutely nothing. He gave away 2 oil blocks to friends and cronies of the PPP for billions and billions of dollars. When Donald Ramotar was a director at GECOM failed the nation, and they have wasted billions of taxpayers' monies right there at GECOM, a failed agency, while Donald Ramotar was a director. The fiber optic cable failed under Donald Ramotar, even as he put his son as the one of the top coordinators there. And then you had the Skeldon sugar factory, and all these manner of things. So I don't want people to come and tell me, Donald talking of Donald. No. Donald had a chance to talk. Donald had a chance to stand up and represent the people of the country, but when he was there, he didn't do it. He did absolutely nothing. 3 caskets in Linden to bury 3 innocent young men. Dozens of people were shot with pellet bullets and live rungs in Linden under Donald Ramotar. Nobody was ever brought to justice for that. 3,000 jobs he promised the people of Linden when he was a minority president. Nothing happened. Disregarded members of the African communities and all these manner of things. I don't want nobody to try to convince me that Donald Ramotar means well. Donald Ramotar as president was arrogant in every way, shape, and form. Arrogant. Sorry that I'm yelling. I sound like that man out of the zoo. This is not a madman show. But I'm a bit upset when people try to insult my intelligence. Over to you, Mr. Caesar, as we prepare to wrap up, sir. What else is bothering you? Keep the same energy. I like the energy. Don't slow down.
Well, I see that we would have gotten a new ambassador to the United States. I mean, from the United States of America to Guyana. And I welcome Nicole. I hope she comes in to Guyana with an open mind. I hope she demonstrates that she is an independent thinker, and she's going to be unbiased in nature, and she's going to listen to both sides, so we just have to wait and see what happens here. But again, Guyanese people, ambassadors should also be held accountable. Or the prior ambassador that we had found it, I guess, relevant to interfere in our elections, amongst other things. And we now have a new ambassador, and we hope that that's not the posture. We hope that that's not the angle. We know that she is here to represent the interests of the United States of America first and foremost. But to the extent she's going to mingle in anything in relation to Guyana, we expect her to be independent in both fact and appearance and unbiased. So, I say welcome to the new ambassador, and I hope, she has a good stay here in Guyana and she keeps things moving along. I know we have a lot of backlogs when it comes to immigration and stuff like that, and I know that she is an expert in that area. So I expect things to be moving along expeditiously, Mark.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that. Let me just take this opportunity to say kudos to Lincoln Lewis. Lincoln Lewis has been at the heels of this corrupt PPP regime. Says here, National Assembly. This is Lincoln. Lincoln has been saying it. He repeated it again yesterday in the Village Voice. He repeated it. He says, look, National Assembly must convene urgently to address Venezuela's military maneuver, population explosion, and land scarcity. That is what Lincoln Lewis said. He has been at it. Others have been at it. The folks on other platforms, this is a unity thing in terms of approaching the corrupt PPP regime. This is not about one soundbite somebody make and feel as though the PPP jumped to a soundbite. It is a collective effort in going after the corrupt, cantankerous individuals in the PPP regime. This is it. And so I say kudos to Lincoln Lewis, the veteran trade unionist. As we prepare to wrap up today, Mr. Caesar, over to you with your closing remarks, sir.
Yeah, I would want to touch a quick bit on what Lincoln Lewis would have just said there. You know, when the National Assembly meets, at least for the last couple of times that they would have met, it is always about the budget and the PPPC wanting to borrow more money from the Natural Resource Fund. We need to start moving in the direction, and this is for the opposition, we need to have new policies in place across Guyana. I haven't seen any new policy tabled and put in place really since this new government. And we need to start getting back to those things. I mean, that's what you call really serving the people there. And this government has been merely, let me correct myself, this installed government has been mostly transactional in nature. And like I would have said before, we need a government that is in place to serve the people of Guyana. Sometimes I feel like if the people of Guyana don't understand the value that they have and the power that they have within their index fingers, and we're getting closer, and people need to start being aware. The opposition need to get out there, empower the people, encourage the people. And listen, Guyana belongs to us. And we need to see change, man. Listen. Let's do this also for the older folks, man. There are older folks in Guyana, pensioners who are struggling in Guyana, and we need to do better for them. Our teachers are struggling. Our nurses are struggling. Inflation is going through the roof. You know, we just need a better Guyana. We need a prosperous Guyana. We need our people living in prosperity and love for a change. You know, so let's continue to be strong people. Let's continue to be on a united front, and let's vote for a coalition government. I know Mark would have talked about coalitions and how difficult they are to manage.
We've got to wait and see what, at least I want to see what this coalition talk is all about. They got to get their act together. But in closing off, Mr. Caesar, at 4 minutes after 10 o'clock, I just want to thank you for your time. I thank all of our listeners as well. We will be back. Tomorrow, same place, same time, right here on 107.1 FM. Lincoln Lewis is going to be here. Lincoln Lewis has a lot to talk about. We will listen to Lincoln. We will gladly step back and have Mr. Lincoln talk to the people through 107.1 FM. Mr. Caesar, again, thank you so much for your time. I know you were missing in action yesterday. You had some engagements. We're glad that you were able to conclude those engagements, but nevertheless, good to see you back here. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mark. And I'll be here tomorrow with you. Thank you.
All right. Wayne Caesar is gone now, right? Oh, right. Well, guess what? I deliberately sent him off so I could spend another hour just alone with you, right? You know, I'm just kidding. Thank you so much, Wayne. Thank you to all of our listeners, indeed. Folks have been asking, they want to see this. They can't believe that this is Jack Deal suggesting to give away a piece, to share a piece of Guyana with Venezuela. Could you imagine this lunatic?
You could probably, on the maritime area, give Venezuela a channel out to the sea. So you make a slight concession in the maritime area.
Did you guys listen to this Paco? Listen again.
You could probably, on the maritime area, give Venezuela a channel out to the sea. So you could probably, on the maritime area, give Venezuela a channel out to the sea. You could probably, on the maritime area, give Venezuela a channel out to the sea. You could probably, on the maritime area, give Venezuela a channel out to the sea. So you make a slight concession in the maritime area.
I wouldn't even sit to discuss anything about Venezuela with this Pacu, this criminal.
In the realm of PPP's comedic governance, where audits turn into enigmatic puzzles and mysteries abound, a tale of financial intrigue unfolds. Brace yourselves, dear listeners, for a journey into the heart of Guyana's petroleum unit, where numbers dance and budgets play hide and seek. Imagine this, a colossal sum of USD $214 million in contested costs, magically whittled down to a mere USD $3 million. How, you ask? Well, it's a bit like watching a magician make an elephant disappear. You bring in the British firm, IHS Markit, and their audit becomes an epic quest to transform mountains of spending into molehills. But there's a twist. The audit takes on a life of its own, stretching endlessly into the bureaucratic abyss. Documents shuttle back and forth, like an eternal game of financial ping pong. And what about the cost? Who cares about funds that could be invested in vital services like education and healthcare? In the labyrinth of bureaucracy, it's simply another twist in the plot. But hold on to your financial reports, because a grand investigation is underway. The Ministry of Natural Resources dons its detective hat to uncover the enigmatic figures behind this vanishing act, from USD 214 million to USD 3 million. However, the names of these shadowy figures remain hidden, a well-guarded secret until the investigation reaches its climax. Suspense, after all, is the essence of any good investigation. But fear not. The man who knows everybody's business but claims to know nothing about this audit, Mr. Sugate himself, Vice President Bharat Jagdeo, pledges to reveal all once the investigation concludes. Until then, we're left with a cliffhanger worthy of a Hollywood thriller. In this labyrinth of PPP confusion powder, even the Guyana Revenue Authority, GRA, plays a leading role. Despite concerns about their inability to do audits, the GRA steps onto the stage, armed with tax expertise and understaffed departments ready to decipher the audit's complexities. In the world of bureaucratic theater, where paperwork reigns supreme, the audience is left pondering, will Guyana's petroleum unit ever find its resolution, or will the audit saga continue to baffle and bewilder? These are the people managing Guyana's oil wealth. This is more like cat watching milk, God help us.
We are a peaceful people. Struggle is with struggle. And we don't look for trouble, just ask around. But when outside faces from foreign places talk about taking over, we ain't backing down. We ain't giving up no mountains, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one caress, not a blade of grass. This land is all I know. We gonna make it somehow. We will bend like a bow and never break. Our fathers came here and they lived and died here, and we ain't moving nowhere. Make no mistake, 'cause we ain't giving up no mountain, we ain't giving up. We ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue.
This is attorney Shellen Washington, owner and founder of the Washington law firm located at 455 Utica Avenue in Brooklyn, New York. We're specialized in medical malpractice, personal injuries, matrimonial law, and landlord and tenant. If you're in need of legal representation, please give us a call today. The number to call is 718-877-3100. Consultation is free at no cost to you. So call us today to see if we can be of any assistance to your legal needs. Again, the phone number to call us is 718-877-3100.
Yeah, my name is Jessie Caldata, Francis C. Vietnam, and since 1965, I become a voter. And I always place my ex next to the cup. And what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data. I have none.